Welcome back to my channel. Finally got a fairly nice day, at least as nice as you can expect in Iowa in March. It's mid 50s today. It's going to be 40s and raining tomorrow, and then back below freezing the remainder of the week. But I did spend a little bit of time, for as much as I could, at least in the middle of the week, out on the bus night, and I started disassembling the AC evaporators. Like I talked about in an earlier video, I really can't continue with removing windows until I do something about these units. And this is what they look like. And the reason I can't continue my demo, I guess let me back up. Where I'm at with demo, I'm taking windows out before I take out ceiling and floor because I don't want to accidentally break a window. The windows are all going to get resealed and put back in, but they need to come out first. So I got a good majority of them out, but I can't take any more of these out, at least up front, until this plastic cover comes off. And this plastic cover can't come off until this AC evaporator. I do something about that. There's about a dozen screws to take the panels off this and take a look at it. As I suspected, this one here was just to hold a cover in place. It's not actually structural, but you can see where I have lines running through this. Now these lines here, and again over here, those are just drain lines. There's no refrigerant in them. I can disconnect them, no problem. The issue I run into is these thick black lines. Sorry if the camera focuses. These thick black ones here. There are 4 of them, and you can see coming down the window pane, the 4 of them sorry, not 4, 2. These 2 here, these are actually refrigerant lines. These are under pressure. I found the panel in the fuse box. These are 134A. This is a dual setup system. So one holds about 9 pounds of refrigerant. The other system holds about 6. Okay, I'm home editing this video now, and I wanted to clarify a couple of points. Sorry, this is the college professor in me talking. So when I say that this is a dual system, what I mean by that is my bus has 2 completely separate air conditioning systems in it. Some school buses have a dual system, some have a single system. A lot of times you see a dual system on some full-length school buses, or on like cutaway chassis where there's a separate system for like the front dash driver's area and then a separate system in the back. But my system actually has 3 big units in the back of the bus that are tied to 2 separate systems. So I've got a evaporator that sits right behind the driver's seat, one right down the middle of the bus, which is what I'm showing in this video, and then there's a third one clear in the back above the emergency exit. So in my system, the one right behind the driver's seat and the one in the middle of the bus that I'm showing you are tied to a single independent system, and the one in the back is tied to its own separate independent system. So with that, I've got the 3 evaporators inside the bus, 2 and 1 linked together, and under the hood in the engine compartment there are 2 compressors being turned by the belt then that drive those. And then under the bus in the back, I have 2 separate condensers, one on the driver's side, one on the passenger side, that again feed to those units. Talked before on this channel, I used to run a party bus fleet, and we had party buses, or now party buses, that were school buses that came from Arizona, and they just had one big massive system. So there was a much larger compressor in the engine bay that was belt driven, and then all 3 of the evaporators inside the passenger compartment were all tied to that single system. So that's what I'm talking about here when I say I've got a dual system instead of a single system. Different configurations are a little bit different. So that's just a long-winded way of saying that when I go to evacuate the system, I do have 2 separate units I have to evacuate. And evacuating an air conditioning system is not easy. A lot of people, if you've done any reading or watching videos on air conditioning systems and installing air conditioning, you're familiar with the fact that you need a vacuum pump. And a vacuum pump is used with charging a system. What a vacuum pump does is that it takes all the air out of a line so that the refrigerant can go in its place. You don't want to mix refrigerant and air. But that works well for charging a system during installation. But to evacuate a system, a vacuum pump does nothing for you. You need a system that is going to remove or pump the refrigerant out of the system through the pump and then into a storage container. So part of my complication with this dual setup is that I need 2 recovery tanks to bring this into if I'm going to recharge it using the recycled refrigerant. If I were going to just evacuate the system, I could evacuate into a single recovery tank, pay a disposal fee, and take care of it, and then recharge it with the appropriate weights later on. But since I'm trying to recover this, I need to plan for capturing the refrigerant out of each system with the appropriate weight so then I can later turn around and put it back into the system. And that does require specialized equipment, which can be quite pricey. It's important to note that any type of refrigerant is a very dangerous substance. The stuff is under high pressure and it can severely hurt you if it gets on you. If it gets in your eyes or in your lungs or on your skin, it can freeze and cause probably at best frostbite and at worst absolutely kill you. So the stuff's very dangerous. It's also an EPA federal government penalty and violation to release the stuff into the air knowingly. Refrigerant is very serious stuff. There's a reason that most HVAC technicians, they have to have certifications and training, all that stuff to deal with this stuff safely. So it can be done as a DIY for, personal use, but you really have to do your research and know what you're doing. I've done a lot of reading on this and I still don't fully understand it, which is why I'm talking to mechanics that do this stuff for a living. It is very dangerous and it's not something you just start, throwing a wrench into willy-nilly to see what happens. But anyway, these are under pressure. You can't just release that stuff. And so I'm working with my mechanics and talking to some HVAC techs on what the plan is going to be to safely evacuate the system and then eventually recharge it when I put it back in. Quite sure how exactly I'm going to go about that yet. Trying to, one, refrigerant is very expensive these days, so I want to recycle this refrigerant if I can. I also don't want to pay full shop fees if I don't have to. So I might borrow or lease some equipment and just buy some tanks. I may just wind up paying a shop to evacuate it and recharge it later. I don't know. But these air conditioners are going to go back in, but they have to come out before I can do a whole lot more demolition. Okay, interjecting again. The main reason I want to recycle the refrigerant in this bus is, one, like I said, I'm cheap and I don't want to pay for additional refrigerant if I don't have to. But the main one is the system that's in the bus is working perfectly as it is. When I bought this bus down in Arizona, I bought it in the middle of the summer. It was super hot. I was down there working on the engine issues. Look back at previous episodes if you're interested in that. But I had the air conditioning running in there full blast in the heat of Arizona in end of June, super hot, and it worked fantastic. So I know the system works great. If it's not fully charged, it's darn close to fully charged. And so I don't want to just pay a shop to evacuate the system and then pay a shop again to recharge it with brand new refrigerant if I don't have to. If I can somehow save some money by recycling and reusing the refrigerant I have, that's what I'm trying to do. And also, the system on this bus has been well maintained. When I opened up that evaporator, there was not nearly as much Arizona dirt, grime, and dust in there as I've seen in other parts of the bus. And when I crawled underneath the bus and looked at the condensers, the inline dryer filters have dates on them that show they've been replaced within the last couple of years. And so I can tell the system has been very well maintained. There's not a reason to, rip this thing out and completely start from scratch if I don't need to. So that's kind of where we're stuck for right now. I did do this much disassembly so I could send some photos and video to my mechanics and try to kind of figure out our game plan. But in taking these apart, I did learn that these units, for as bulky as they are, really aren't that big. The actual evaporator part is not that large. It's only about maybe 3 or 4 inches wide and, a couple feet long. And then, there's the lines that surround it. And then this big black round thing here is just a fan that blows the air across it. And then back here is mostly just open space with some exceptions, some hoses. So these units can definitely rebuilt. This whole system will eventually get built into a cabinet. And so I think I can take this unit apart and kind of rebuild it, restructure it, and get exactly what I want in a much smaller footprint. And as a reminder, I have 3 of these on my bus. This is just the middle one. There's a little bit larger unit in the back, and then there's another unit up here closer to the driver's area. So I may consolidate down to 2 now that I know what I'm getting myself into. I did learn that the front two are tied to one system and the rear is tied to another system. These air conditioners are in here for keeping the bus cool while I'm driving. There'll be mini splits in here for while I'm parked. But the idea also is, if it's a particularly hot day or I've been gone for a while and I need to cool down the system fast, these units are much, much larger and much, much more efficient than a mini split. So, I could run the bus engine for 20 minutes to half an hour to get this bus cooled way down to a temperature where then I could fire up mini splits that run on solar to maintain that temperature instead of trying to let the mini splits cool the entire bus down. So I want the flexibility of both options. That's why I went clear to Arizona to buy this bus, because it had air conditioning in it. And I made sure I tested this air conditioning system out. It does work very, very well. So I definitely don't want to abandon it or break it. I just need to get the system out of my way in order to pull the ceiling down and insulate and do the things I want to do. So anyway, that's where I'm at with this. There's not going to be probably another video for a couple more weeks. It's going to be really cold and nasty for a little while. But as soon as the weather warms up again, I'll be out here working on some stuff again. There's plenty of stuff I can do underneath the bus yet before I need to continue the demolition, and I figure out what exactly the plan is going to be here. If I get an HVAC tech to come out and work on it, or I buy some gear and do it myself, I guess stay tuned and you'll see what I do. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.